Okay, hi Ashley, how you doing? I've got you queued up here and I want to take a look at your work. Where did you go? There you are. Okay, so I noticed that you've simplified things tremendously. And Ashley, I want to tell you something. This is probably the most impressive piece I've seen to date in the class, and I've seen a good portion of the, and I'm going to tell you why. Right now, you're set up for complete success here. By stripping away everything that could possibly mean or do something else or point the viewer in a different direction, you've brought this down to its basic essence, which is great. So I think the most impressive thing here is your grid. This is going to look good in a portfolio because I'm going to be honest with you, most student portfolios, we look at typography and use of the grid. So if typically if we don't see evidence of knowledge of how to use the grid, it's probably a lost cause for the rest of the portfolio. And I'm just being truthful here, so I'm thinking this is just really a great piece. Now I've gone ahead and drawn out the vertical grid as you have it set up, and this is perfect, but I do want to draw your attention to one thing here. All right, as this grid logically starts right here, okay, where the text and the image start. And then what I've done is just drawn even vertical lines for the beginnings of your timeline entries here, and they all seem to be perfectly equal, which is great. Now, of course, we don't want centered design. We've talked about that. It's boring. So this is off center, which is great. But if you take a look at the grid over here, as these grid marks go, you know, these have to be even all the way through, unless you're going to draw a linear grids to the margin, in which case they would be all even. They would just be reduced to the margin size. Okay, so I'm seeing this is uneven right here. This space and this space, as you can see. So that would have to be evened up. And then the next thing you want to see is that, look where your grid ends. Here's the last grid line, and you have this extra space left over here. So what I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that possibly you started designing with the image and the headline, and then aligned according to that, which is perfect in a lot of ways. In other situations like this, I think it's best to design the grid first, then to lay your elements on top of the grid. Now, the reason I'm so impressed with this piece is because I want to show you something, and I'm also going to include this in your in the video here. I'll include the link, but it's a website. Oh, one more thing. It looks like you decided not to use that typeface that I suggested. Did you get it? Because I know I had forgot to put the attachment. I said I had a typeface for you to look at, something interesting, but you had mentioned that I didn't attach it. So I did, and I sent it, and go ahead and take a look at it. It's pretty cool. But anyways, I want you to look at this. I'm going to include this with you, but this is what I want you to concentrate on. And this right here is a block of text that's unformatted, basically a lot like this. And what I want you to do is look at this progression. Okay, this is figure one, and what the designer here is going to create hierarchy. And you'll see the techniques as we move through. The first thing is to separate into groups, which you've done. The second thing is to start to add hierarchy by scale. Further that scale and further the distance between the different items on the page. So you're really starting to establish different groups of information here. Now we start working with alignment, text blocks, line size, placement. Now we start working with a little bit of image, or color, and I'm not going to call it image. I'm just going to use a basic design element. So basically, what we've gone is from this to this. So I want you to go through this tutorial, and I want you to really think about how we can apply those principles to this piece. Okay, great job, good grid. Looking forward to final. Thanks, Ashley. Thank you very much.